All right, well, that's a perfect example of some of the things going on in the real estate market here in San Diego right now. Let's check with our expert, Louie Ortiz, this morning to find out if that is truly the deal that it appears to be. And it kind of depends on the individual, doesn't it?
Yeah. Good morning, Mike.
It's good to see you again. So what do you think about that particular project there?
You know, it's really interesting to see that. I remember just a few years ago when condos were being built, people were buying them before they were even finished and flipping them, and the market has just so changed. I think it's great for first-time home buyers, and wow, what a terrific place to own real estate in San Diego.
So we really want to talk about first-time home buyers here and kind of leave the speculators out of it for the time being.
Yes.
Okay, because that's one of the ways we got into part of this mess anyway.
Right.
So let's, first-time home buyers. Where do they start right now? Is this the time, first off, for them to jump in?
Well, you know, one of the things that's very dangerous is for first-time home buyers to try and time the market. You know, nobody really knows for sure what's going to happen in our marketplace, but if it's something that they're going to buy a property and stay in it for a while, this might be a great time to buy.
So that's part of the key, is maybe a slight shift here in our thinking. You know, you used to say, well, if you want to put your money anywhere, put it in California real estate.
Right.
But now it's where do you want to live?
Right.
And if you're pretty convinced that home is in the location you like and you think you're going to stay there for a while, then you take the next step.
Right.
You're not looking to flip houses and make quick money right now, though.
Right.
Okay. Talk to me about people's credit history.
Sure.
Because this is kind of where everybody starts, especially first-time home buyers.
Right. So important for everybody. It's a good idea to have a copy of your credit report and really go through that, especially if you're thinking about buying a property. There might be some derogatory information that you might not be aware of, and it's just so important to know your credit history.
And to maybe take steps ahead of time, ahead of buying, to really clean that up and maybe add a few points to it?
Absolutely. Anything you can do to shore up that credit would be great.
All right. A lot of folks head out with some kind of idea of maybe the monthly payment they can afford,
right,
but they don't do all the numbers and the calculations. They don't include everything.
Right. Yeah, understanding what it really costs to own a home is just so important, especially for first-time home buyers. You know, knowing, your monthly costs, your insurance, and also looking to the future. There might be some maintenance costs or some improvement things you want to do, and really knowing how much home you can afford is just so important.
And, the taxes that go into it, and, a lot of things when you're renting are covered, by the landlord.
Sure.
So you got to add them all up.
Right.
All right. Should folks be considering short sales and foreclosures if they're a first-time home buyer?
I think, there's so many great deals out there, especially in short sales. I've seen so many wonderful deals. I think the problem with some of the foreclosures is there's a lot of competition, but if it's a first-time home buyer and they have a little bit of time, I think short sales is something they can consider because some great deals out there, Mark, really great deals.
Well, let's talk about that then, the inventory itself.
Right.
Folks need to have some kind of an idea what's actually out there in the way of inventory,
right,
and how that maybe sizes up historically, and it's kind of area to area.
It is. And there's a lot of things that buyers are doing right now to kind of know the inventory. There's a variety of websites that people can sign up for, but it's also good to talk to a real estate professional because for first-time home buyers, there's a lot of property that investors have out there on the marketplace that are not on the market. They might be properties that are currently being rented, and talking to somebody who knows some of that other inventory is also very helpful for a first-time home buyer.
Last thing I want to touch on here very quickly is you need to know what you're buying, and that takes an expert as well, and that's where you get an inspector that's working for you and not for the seller.
Yes, and that's so critical, Mark. A lot of people are considering short sales and foreclosures, and there's a lot of deferred maintenance in some of these properties, and having a home inspection is an absolute must. I mean, you really need to go through that property, make sure there aren't any issues with it.
And for a few $100, you get somebody to do one
far worth
specifically for you.
Absolutely.
All right, Louie Ortiz, always great to see you, and hopefully here in the next few months we might actually start doing a few more real estate segments where the focus is on it's getting better.
Yes, I hope so.
Okay.
Great to see you, Mark.
As always.